Hello. Okay, we are on lesson 4 of our journey into metric conversions and scientific notation. And what I want to do today is put the two together, get you to understand how scientific notation and metric conversions, these prefixes, are related. So behind me, I've got our trusty kilo, hecto, deca, unit, deci, centi, milli. Kajira hugged Derek until Derek cried mama, or whatever you came up with. And I have also added some other things. We know numbers are infinite, right? We can go infinitely larger. We can go infinitely smaller. So this, of course, is not everything. And I am going to put a link in the description to a website that gives quite a few of them. Still wouldn't be all of them because numbers are infinite, but it goes up to the 24th, 10 to the 24th, I think, and then 10 to the negative 24th. So, you know, if you're interested in that sort of thing, it'll give you all those prefixes and what they're called. But for our intents and purposes for today, these are the ones that I'm going to bring up. So we've got our kilo, hecto, deca, unit, deci, centi, milli. And we know that unit is one. So, meter, gram, this is one. This is one single unit. If we move 3 away, we get to milli, which would be 10 to the negative third, because every time we move, that's a decimal, which means it's an order of 10. Same as as 10 to the something as an exponent. So 10 to the negative 3 is milli. Now, I put x's. Those do have names, I'm sure, somewhere, but they get used so rarely that people just don't bother. So I've got a placeholder there because we're going to need to use that today to count, but it's just a placeholder for now. So we don't worry about the name, but no one cares. No one cares. And then we have micro. Now, we've already used M for milli, so we can't use M for micro. So this is a lowercase Greek letter. I'm not positive which one it is. I still didn't look it up. I'm sorry. I really should do that. How about you do that? Someone do that. Unfortunately, this won't let you leave comments. But if one of my students looks it up and messages me, I'll mail you something. Yeah, I'll figure out something cool. I'll go. I got you. Anyway, so we got micro, and then again, two that have names, but no one cares. And then nano, and you've heard of that, like nanotechnology, nanobots, really, really small technology, things that are being used in biometrics and people's hearts and all sorts of things. And then 2 more, and then we get to pico or pico, depending on who you talk to. And that one, we were talking about the size of an atom. 10 to the negative 12. So 10 to the negative third was milli, 10 to the negative 6 is micro, 10 to the negative 9 nano, and 10 to the negative 12 pico, or pico. I like pico better. Picometer, pico. I like pico better. Anyway, and you can see 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and thus the numbers are 3, 6, 9, and 12. Then going the other direction, getting larger scales of magnitude. We're starting again with our unit of 1, and then 3 larger. Kilo, that we know, is 10 to the third. And then again, those have names, but no one cares. And then we've got mega. We've got a kilobyte and then a megabyte, right? And then we've got a gigabyte and then a terabyte. So 10 to the third, 10 to the sixth, 10 to the ninth, and 10 to the 12th. So that's scientific notation, and prefixes are very closely related. A lot of times a scientist can use scientific notation, but then switch over to using the prefix for the number for whatever reason it's needed. So that's just a basic introduction to what we're going to be doing for the rest of this lesson. I'm going to pause here and change up the board and be back momentarily, if I can hit stop. Okay, so we are now going to finally finish the front page of the work that was given on Monday. So this one is we're doing number 2, which is the one I told you to skip. when we started this on Tuesday. So number 2, it said how many microns are in a centimeter. And we hadn't discussed what a micron was, being a micrometer, and how we would do that conversion yet. So I told you to just skip it. But now we can do it because we have included that now into our setup, and we can now do that conversion. So if I start on centi, and I end on, I really should look that up. I should have done that anyway. So starting on centi, ending on micron, starting on centi, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4 moves to the right. So we need to add 4 zeros to the 1. So it would be 10,000. So 1 centimeter is 10,000 micrometers, or 10,000 microns. Okay, so now going down to the bottom of the sheet, we already did the scientific notation in the end of lesson 3, but now at the bottom, it isn't quite the same. So what you're supposed to do here is leave the number the same and figure out what prefix should be there instead. If I leave this as a whole number, let's get rid of this scientific notation and make it the prefix it's supposed to be instead. So we're going to do basically the same thing we've been doing. We're just kind of going to work backwards. All right. So we know that it's going to be moving in a positive direction. So the prefix is going to be bigger. And we know that it's 3 moves. And we're starting on G for gram. So that would be unit. So we're going to start on unit and go 1, 2, 3 moves. You see, 10 to the third, 10 to the third. So what is that? Kilograms. So the answer would be 3 kilograms. Getting it? Okay. All right. Let's look at number 13. So this one's 5. And again, we know that the number is going to stay the same. We're not moving our decimal. We're looking at this. Where should we be from here? So we start on meter and go 3 moves into the negative. 1, 2, 3. Look at that. 10 to the negative third would be milli. So millimeter or millimeter. All right, here we know this is going to be 2. All right, this time you can't just look at the scientific notation that's underneath because we're not starting with the unit. This time we're starting with milli. So if we start with milli and move 3 to the positive, that would be 1, 2, 3, the unit. So 2 liters. So 2 times 10 to the third milliliters is the same as 2 liters. And then here, again, we can't just look at the prefix. We're going to have to actually count it because it's not starting on the unit. It's not starting on 1. So we're going to start on K and 6 moves to the negative. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 9 times 10 to the negative 6 kilograms is the same as 9 milligrams. All right. Movie magic. See you in a moment. Okay, so now we've finished the whole first page, and the next 3 pages are basically the same thing over and over again. It's just one focuses on mass, one focuses on volume, and one focuses on length. But it's the same thing for all 3 pages. Now, if you printed this out and you've been having a hard time with this, this is another way to look at it. Gives you a visual place to move the decimal. What it wants you to do, and the first one it laid out for you already, it wants you to put it out on the lines. And then you've got 7.0 where you're starting, and then you're going from kilo to gram. So you're going to use your KHDUDCM 1, 2, 3 to the right. So you're going to use this to move your decimal to the 1, 2, 3 to the right. Well, if the decimal is now here, then those all need to be zeros, and your answer would be 7,000 grams. And I have no problem with you doing that, but you've got to remember to write the answer here, this is the answer blank. So I just want you to get into the habit of whenever you see something like that, sure, use your workspace, but make sure you use your answer space as well, right? So we already did this first one. That's 7,000 grams. Now, if you didn't print this out and you just want to write these down on paper or something while you're working them out and write them out like this, the way we learned it, I have no problem with that. Basically, you just have to write down what it put over here equals whatever it says over here. I mean, it's basically what we've been doing before. They just gave you a little work area in the middle. I think there might be a typo in there somewhere in the little work area. If somebody finds it and spots it and sends me a message, I might mail you a little something. Anyway, okay, so the next one, 3.3 milligrams is how many grams? So we're going to start on milli and end on unit. So that's 1, 2, 3 to the left. So 1, 2, 3 to the left means we need to add 2 zeros in front of the 2 3s, 0.0033 grams. All right, next we're going from unit, gram, to kilo. So that's 1, 2, 3 to the left. So 1, 2 to the left gets us 0.93. One more means we need to put a 0 in front. 0.093 kilograms. Next one, 5.4 kilograms is how many grams? So we're going to start on kilo and go to unit. 1, 2, 3 to the right. 1 to the right gets us to 54. So 2 more means those need to be zeros, 5,400 grams. The next one, we're starting on milli, ending on unit. So that's 1, 2, 3 to the left. So 1, 2 to the left gets us to 0.94. One more means that needs to be a 0. 0.0942 grams. And then here we get to use our fancy new unit, the micron. So microgram, or not micron would be micrometer, pardon me. The micro is the prefix. We're going to start on micro and end on milli. So that's 1, 2, 3 to the left. So 1, 2, 3 to the left means 007. Oh, he's a spy. Y'all probably too young to get that. It's okay. All right, so we're going to start on gram, unit, going to end on milli. 1, 2, 3 to the right. So 1 to the right gets us to 25. 2 more need to be zeros. So 2,500 milligrams. Going from milli to gram, so from milli to unit. 1, 2, 3 to the left. 1 to the left gets us to 41. So the next 2 need to be zeros. 0.0041. You're pausing and doing these on your own. Right. All right. Milli to gram. So 1, 2, 3 to the left. 1, 2. Just one more needs to be a 0. 0.0765. And the last one on that page, 1.06 milligrams, is how many micrograms. So starting on milli and 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2 gets us there. We just need to add one more 0. 1,060 micrograms. All right, now we're working on volume. So this is the third page of this week's work. Again, you can use the thing in the middle, but I just wrote them out the way we learned how to do them. So here we're going to start on unit and end on milli. So starting on unit, ending on milli is 1, 2, 3 to the right. So we're just going to add 3 zeros. So 6,000. Oh no, that won't do. Hopefully this one will be visible because it seems like black is the only color that wants to show up. Ha, do it in the black one. Ooh, look at that. 6,000 milliliters. Okay, It's the little things. It's the little things. So we're starting on milli, ending on unit. So 1, 2, 3 to the left. So 1 to the left gets us to there. So 2 and 3 both need to be zeros. 0.0086 liters. Here we're starting on milli, ending on liter again. So again, it's going to be 3 moves to the left. So 1 and 2 get us to 0.3. So 1 more 0 in front, 0.03 liters. Here we're starting on kilo and ending on unit. 1, 2, 3 to the right. So we just need to add, you got it, 3 zeros, 2,000 liters. 421 milliliters is how many liters? So we're going to start on milli and end on unit. 1, 2, 3 to the left. So right now it's here. 1, 2, 3 to the left means that it just now is in front of the number instead of behind it. 0.421 liters. Next up, we've got 21 liters is how many kiloliters? Like anyone who watches these. I have to edit that out. People do actually watch these. I've seen you. Hi. Anyway, we're starting on liter, ending on kilo. 1, 2, 3 to the left. So 1, 2, 3 means we need to put a 0 in front. 0.021. Here we're starting on unit, liter, ending on milli. So 1, 2, 3 to the right. 1 to the right gets us to 99. So 2 and 3 both need to be zeros. So 9,900 milliliters. 2.4 liters is how many kiloliters? So we're going to start on liter and end on kilo. 1, 2, 3 to the left. So that's 1 to the left gets us to 0.24. So that next 2 have to be zeros. So 0.0024 kiloliters. 8.08 milliliters is how many liters? So we're going to start on milli, end on liter. 1, 2, 3 to the left. 1 to the left gets us there. 2 and 3 means we need to put 2 zeros in front. 0.00808. And this kind of points out what I was talking about significant digits, how even if you've got a 0, if there's a significant digit behind the 0, that 0 becomes significant. So you've got to leave that 0 in there. Here we're going to start on unit and end on milli. So that's 1, 2, 3 to the right. So 1 to the right gets us to 35. So the next 2 are zeros, 3,500 milliliters. All right, last page of this week's lesson, last page of this week's work. So this one is all about length. So this is all meters and using a meter as the unit. So here we're going to start on U for unit. Why do we know it's U for unit and not M? Because it's M by itself. So we're going to start on U and end on M for milli. So that's 1, 2, 3 to the right. So we need to add 3 zeros. So that's going to be 10,000. Next, again, we're going to start on unit, but this time we're just going to stop at centi. So unit, 1, 2 to centi. So 1 gets it to here. So 1 more would make it 120 centimeters. The next one, we're going to start on U for unit for 20 meters and end on K for kilo. So that's 1, 2, 3 to the left. So 1, 2 to the left gets us to 0.2. 1 more to get us to kilo would be 0.02. And there, that 0 becomes an insignificant digit, and you can lose it because there's no significant digits after it. Now we've got, we're going to start on nano and end on micro. So start on nano, end on micro. 1, 2, 3 to the left. So 1, 2, 3 to the left means 0.001. So 1 nanometer is 1,000th of a micron. Tiny. All right, now we're going to go to centi and stop on milli. So that's just 1 move to the right. So you just need to add 1 0. 3,240. Last 5. We got this. All right, starting on milli, ending on unit. 1, 2, 3 to the left. So 1, 2, 3 makes it 0.01 meters. 10 millimeters is a 100th of meter. All right, we're going to start on unit and end on centi. So 1, 2 to the right. 1 to the right gets it to 47. So one more means we need to add 1 0, 470 centimeters. Next one, we're going to start on unit and end on kilo. That's 1, 2, 3 to the left. So 1 to the left gets us to 0.8. 2 and 3 both need to be zeros, 0.008 or 8 thousandths. All right, here we're going to start on micro and end on nano. So that's 1, 2, 3 to the right. So we just need to add 3 zeros. So 1 micron is 1,000 nanometers. And then here we're going to start on K for kilo, end on C for centi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moves to the right. So 1 and 2 get us to 88. So 3, 4, and 5 have to be, say it with me, zeros. That's right. So 88,000 centimeters. Whew. Okay. So that's it for this week. I will be posting another lesson next Monday. It will not be this. I'm going to pick from, I've got to have some conversations and pick from some things from what I've got left that we still need to cover. But this is the end of the metric conversion stuff. We're going to be moving on either to electricity, magnetism, circuits, parallel versus series circuit, electromagnets. I think that's probably what I'm going to do next. So let's just go with it. That's what I'm going to do next week. We'll talk about series circuit versus parallel circuit. And then probably the next week we'll talk about electromagnets. But, we're living in crazy times. So who can say anymore? I hope everybody is staying safe and well. Please, please email me, send me a message through Google Classroom, comment on one of the posts in Google Classroom. If you are using these videos or if you haven't already, if you've done it already, great. Thank you. I've gotten you checked off for this week, but I need you to do that for me every week. Say, hey, ask me a question. Just check in so that I know that someone's out there and is using the material that I'm creating. Again, always ask questions if you need to. Love you guys. Stay safe. Make good decisions. I said that all the time at the end of every class period, but I really do mean it. This is a time that our future generations are going to judge us by. So let's make good decisions. Okay. Love y'all. Bye.